Hello, this is Peter Bull from getintouchbooks.com. What I want to talk to you about today is the whole concept of trying to get better sleep or more sleep. Sleep is a big problem for many of us, especially as we get older, because of anxiety and various other things. So in our section today, we're going to look at sleep as a section, as a discussion point. Firstly, you need to resolve any unresolved conflict. If you go to bed having had an argument with a friend, relative, loved one, etc., it makes it much more difficult to sleep. You stew over it. So try and resolve all conflict before you go to bed. Even if it's just a matter of phoning someone and just checking they're all right or telling them you're sorry, it makes a huge difference to getting a night's sleep. The second thing is don't go to bed too hot. If you go to bed too hot, you won't be able to sleep. Some people have a cold shower just before they retire. So they actually use the bedclothes to warm them up when they get into bed. Having said that, there is a paradoxical argument to say that actually a hot bath can help to relax the muscles. So do what works for you. Thirdly, avoid stimulants. Stimulants are very, very bad for keeping you awake. Coffee, tea, especially just before bed, last couple of hours before bed. Avoid too many stimulants. Very important. If you have a lot of caffeine, it will raise your heart rate and all sorts of things and keep you very alert. I mean, that's one of the benefits of coffee. It keeps you awake. So you don't want that too close to bed. So avoid stimulants before you go to bed. Also, avoid indigestible food. Certain foods will actually give you nightmares, or so they say. Never had any from foods, but things like cheese and things just before bed, if it's indigestible, it's going to keep you awake because you don't want to be digesting food at night. So I would not eat at least 2 hours, a couple of hours before you go to bed. Try and go to bed on a slightly emptier stomach. Another thing that's very good is reading. I found reading very effective. If I can't sleep, I start reading a book, reading something I'm interested in, just to get my mind distracted, so I generally fall off to sleep. In fact, I find if I start reading in bed, I probably will be asleep within half an hour of reading. So try doing more reading. Another thing is darkness. Darkness is very important. You must be dark when you go to bed. Having said that, there are people who are scared of the dark, so I wouldn't recommend it for them. But people who are comfortable with the dark, make sure you cover all your windows up, put blinds up and good strong thick curtains so no external light can get in. Make sure you sleep in the dark and that will help you sleep. The next one that I've come across is aromas. Now aromas are very good. Aromas are very powerful. They help you to sleep. But you need to get some advice. So go to your pharmacist or your health food shop and ask if they have any aromas that you can have in the night that you can smell to help you sleep. But also don't be in a stuffy environment. Make sure you've got your window open and there's plenty of circulating oxygen. That's also very important. The next one I've got on my list here is music. Music is very powerful. I find music very powerful, but it's got to be the right kind of music. Very, very stimulating music, again, will not do you any good. It's also, think very carefully about watching too much media or getting involved in social media just before bed. These things can stimulate your brain and keep you awake. So avoid things like that, too much media, especially the news, which can be quite depressing and get people worried. Finally, or not finally, I'd say the next thing is something created by Viktor Frankl called paradoxical intention. He was a famous psychiatrist who lived, survived the Nazi Holocaust and went on to become a great scientist and psychologist and so forth. What he says do something the opposite to what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to get to sleep, try and stay awake. Go out and get yourself, go out into your room, into your kitchen, into your living room, and actually do something to keep you awake. That's very powerful, because if you keep yourself awake, you'll then want to sleep. I always think a horrible job like cleaning out a cupboard is very effective, because when I come back, sleep now becomes very attractive. And finally, the last thing I'd like to say is don't underestimate the power of the cat nap. Often, if you can from work, or if you're not at work, or if straight after work, if you can get a chance to have a little sleep in the afternoon, that will help to restore a lot of your sleep deprivation. Anyway, thank you very much for listening to me, and I look forward to speaking to you at the next event. Bye.